What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Knuckle Sandwich. Very special interview, if I do say so myself. We've got the LFA CEO, Alex Pereira's right-hand man. My probably favorite guy in LA right now, Ed Soares, hanging out with us, just pulled over on the side of the road for the interview. So we're going to talk to him today about a little bit about Pereira, because I know that's what everybody wants to hear, whatever. Mainly, we're going to be talking about LFA Louisville coming back to Louisville, Kentucky on June 13th, and of course, just LFA in general. So, again, I'm just super excited to have Ed on, second time on, and I feel like we've become best friends just the more and more time that we've been talking. So, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. A big shout out to Eddie Donaldson as well for setting this back up. I know he's in the waiting room watching, so thank you, Eddie. And without further ado, let's bring the man of the hour on, Ed Soares. Ed, what's happening, my man? Thank you again for hopping on.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, doing wonderful. I played 9 holes of golf earlier, and so I'm sunburnt. I'm tired, but I'm very energized now for the interview, so I'm excited.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for having us on, and thanks for all the support you guys give us every time we come back to Louisville.
Of course. I think for us, the big thing is regional talent, promoting the regional scene, all the amateurs and the low-level pros that don't really get the attention that they deserve. That's what we're here for. So it's always a privilege, especially whenever somebody like the LFA CEO wants to hop onto the program. We're never going to say no. So I'm
Man, well,
excited.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Well, Ed, we'll start off with the big thing in the room, right? Alex Pereira being the manager of arguably probably the hottest ticket in town in the UFC, in my opinion. I think he's really taken it over by storm. In my opinion, though, you've really managed a lot of the best fighters really ever. Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva. I mean, the list continues to go on. What are some things about Pereira that kind of set him apart and kind of put him into maybe a GOAT status when it comes to just fighters in general?
I think it's really his fight IQ. I mean, he's extremely intelligent. The way he breaks down fights, the way he prepares for fights, and all of these guys are talented fighters. But what really makes Alex stand out is really how he is as a human being. He's an incredible person. He's very down to earth, very grounded, very humble, very hardworking. Has a lot of gratitude for everything that everyone's done for him. Comes from very humble beginnings, and the success, the money, the fame. Has not let it go to his head. As a matter of fact, he almost seems like he's become a better person from it, which kind of goes back to that old saying that a lot of times people say, "Oh, money and fame changes people," but really, what I believe is that money and fame magnifies the person that you are. And he's a prime example of it. Almost seems like he's become a better person, but it's not that he's become a better person. It's actually that it's magnified the person that he really is.
That's impressive. I think in my opinion, when you watch all of the post-fight interviews and even the Octagon interviews, all this stuff, he's always very chill, very composed, never really gets out of hand. I mean, he's got Chama on his belt, of course, that everybody throws out and gets really excited for. But I mean, like you said, the guy is just super, super. Seems super grateful for just the opportunity that he gets, and I think one of the things that really drives my curiosity with it is he was so successful in kickboxing. What kind of fueled his switch over to MMA? Was it the Israel Adesanya fight? Because that's what it seemed like the media was making it, like he was chasing that rematch again. Because obviously it's went much farther than that now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily chasing that rematch, but I think that Adesanya establishing his position of who he was in the world of mixed martial arts, and knowing that Alex had already beaten him twice and one time knocked him out pretty bad. I think he kind of wanted to, chase that and prove to the world that he could also cross over into mixed martial arts and become a world champion, which he did. And Adesanya is one hell of a competitor, one hell of a talent. And it's really nice to see now that after this rivalry that has actually made both of men much better fighters and much better athletes, now they have a pretty good relationship. And don't be surprised in the future you're going to be seeing them train together.
It would be insane. Speaking of that, I mean, like Israel Adesanya and Robert Whitaker were just training together not too long ago. So it seems like those foes turning friends slash colleagues slash training partners is something that's going to be possibly coming true more often. But it seems like Pereira has these like two enemies in sight necessarily, and I maybe not be using the right word, but I mean, Ankalaev, of course, it seems like he's been taking to social media quite a bit after this fight. I don't know if you ever keep track of that kind of stuff or see it. But then also too the John Jones fight, the 3-time champ, the triple champ. What would you say is the big driving factor for those two fights? Do you think that those end up getting done in his career?
You know what? I think it's one step at a time. I think Alex, what he's has ahead of him is this rematch. Alex is not one that makes excuses. He went out there. I personally thought that Alex won the first, third, and fifth round, and many people did. I thought Alex did enough to win the fight. It was a close fight. I'm not going to say it was robbery, but I do believe that Alex won the fight. So this just gives a better story for Alex's rematch and for Alex's legacy. I think Alex is going to go out there. Alex proved a lot of the naysayers about, he's going to get taken down. He has no takedown defense. Well, Ankalaev was 0 for 12 on takedowns,
Yeah.
and the only takedown that happened in the fight was Alex taking him down at the end of the fourth round. So at the end of the day, I think Alex, he a lot of things going on. Alex is not one to make excuses. None of us are going to make excuses. Ankalaev got the nod that night, but I think it's going to be a different result in the rematch.
Has there already been talks about when that might be?
Oh, it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Probably at some time during the summer, I believe.
Wonderful. Well, let's just go ahead and transition over to the summer. LFA coming back to Louisville, Kentucky. That's the real reason we're here, right? June 13th, Friday night. What's drawn you guys back to Louisville? I know the last time you came back, you switched the town, and it was a little bit longer of a layover between the two. Now you're back just a year later. Talk to me a little bit about coming back to Louisville now.
Well, Louisville was such an incredible experience for us, with so much fight history that comes from Louisville, and having great partners, like the town of Louisville really came out and supported us, and obviously having Eddie Donaldson there, kind of orchestrating everything with everyone locally there, and being just a driving factor of making us come back. And I'm really excited to come back and having a show at Freedom Hall, because at the end of the day, man, look at that, man, how much history has been in that arena. To think that Muhammad Ali's first pro fight was in that arena, and what an honor it is to be able to bring the LFA and put on an event at a place where Muhammad Ali had his first pro fight. Very excited about that.
Super insane. I mean, and Louisville itself just has so much fight history too, like you said. So I mean, just to be able to continue that. Phil Perkins is one of the guys that I talked to, future of fighting, and that was kind of his big driving factors. He wanted to give something better, but also the fight history, and really showcase that. And I think LFA is going to do wonderful with that as well too. You guys had a really good card the last time. The main event ended up switching. I've got the poster still hung up.
Yeah.
But the main event ended up switching. How was that card for you guys? I'm sure you remember it. What was your take on the whole card itself back last time y'all were in Louisville?
Things happen in the fight business. Things can happen at a drop of a dime. Like, the last main event, what happened was the main event went out for a run the Sunday before the event, and got clipped by a car. And that's why we had to pull the fight. But you know what? The main event delivered. We had a local. Yeah. I mean, that definitely was probably one of the best fights of the year, if not one of the greatest fights of all time inside the LFA octagon. So, I mean, I've got nothing but gratitude for the town of Louisville that came out and supported their local fighter, and he went out there and performed and took that fight.
I'm assuming that we can expect about the same level or same number of local talent that we did at the last LFA card on this coming up one for Louisville.
100%. We're working. I think a lot more people now have realized what the LFA is and what we do. And we're definitely going to be working with a lot of local talent, but we're also going to be bringing in talent like we did last time from all over the world. So, we don't want to be just, we want to include the local talent to make, the support of Louisville and support the local talent and give the local talent a bigger platform to be able to be seen on a platform that's seen worldwide. These fights are going to be broadcasted in over 200 countries live on UFC Fight Pass. So, what sort of exposure that would be for the local talent, but then also the town of Louisville to be able to see international talent come in to Louisville and perform in front of them. So I think it's a little bit of a mix of both. But like I said, Louisville treated us so well, welcomed us with open arms, and we're just looking forward to coming back and putting on a great event for everyone again.
That's awesome. And might I add, you say Louisville like a true Southerner. Like you don't say Louisville, you say Louisville,
Yeah.
and it's really nice to hear. I appreciate that.
Well, you gotta thank Eddie Donaldson for that. He set me straight on that.
Fair enough. You guys have a really big event coming up this weekend as well. We were just talking about it. Any of those particular fights that you're really excited about for this weekend?
I'm excited of a few fights. I'm excited about that heavyweight fight, Freeman versus Cunha. I definitely think the winner of that will probably be one of the best unsigned heavyweight talents right now on the market. That's going to be a very exciting fight. We got there's a bunch of fights on the card, but that one is the one that sticks out to me. Every time you have a title fight, that's the one that kind of resonates the most. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of interesting people there. You got like we were talking about earlier before this interview started. Melvin Joval is fighting, which is Alex Pereira's assistant. And he's going to have Glover Teixeira in his corner. And there's like I said, the great thing about the LFA, and that's why people need to pay attention and comment. It's not necessarily which fighter or who's the fighter that's going to be fighting that night. When people tune into the LFA, they're tuning in because they realize that this is tomorrow's superstars they're able to see today. So it's not a matter of, oh God, what's the big name that's on the card? Sometimes they're not any big names, but I guarantee you a handful of those guys that you're seeing and fighting on every card, you're going to see on the big stage within 6 to 12 months. So it's almost like you're able to see the future now. And that's why part of our slogan, the LFA, is where the future is now. That's why you're able to see future superstars today before they become the superstars that they are, like Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira fought in the LFA. Alexander Pantoja. So many big stars. Sean O'Malley, Brian Ortega. Valentina, who's the current champion. I mean, there's so many superstars that came from the LFA that are now have stepped up into the big leagues and have made a name for themselves.
Well, I'm super excited for what you guys are bringing to Louisville. Like we talked off camera, we get to come, we get to do a little bit of media, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing, like you said, the future stars of tomorrow today. It's going to be super exciting, man, and I'm super excited. Ed, thank you so much for hopping on today. I know you're on the side of the road. I don't want to keep you on too long. If you've got any shout-outs or anything, the floor is yours, my man.
Hey, man, like I said, I just want to thank the town of Louisville for always welcoming us with open arms. And like I said, Eddie Donaldson, man. Eddie Donaldson is a key ingredient of making the LFA successful in Louisville. And we couldn't do it with success without him. So I have a lot of gratitude for Eddie Donaldson and for you guys and all the local media that has supported us. And like I said, the whole town, everybody I've met in Louisville has just been so welcomed us with open arms, and that makes me feel really good, and it makes us excited about coming back and keep trying to put on the best events we can for you guys.
I truly cannot wait. Ed, have a safe travels on your way home, my man, and appreciate your time tonight. We'll be seeing you very, very soon.
Hey, thank you for your time, and anytime, man, I'm always here.
Deal.